We have to reopen. We have to reopen smart. We have to reopen with a cautious eye. But we have to get back to life, and we have to get back to life and living, and we have to do it the way New Yorkers do it. We have to do it quickly and robustly. Effective this Wednesday, we're going to adopt the CDC's new guidance and regulations on masks and social distancing for vaccinated people. By the CDC guidance, immunocompromised people and vaccinated people should continue to wear a mask and social distance. But if you are vaccinated, you are safe. No masks, no social distancing. We're also going to follow the CDC's guidelines that you will still need to wear a mask on public transportation, the subways, the buses, nursing homes, homeless shelters, correctional facilities, schools, and healthcare facilities. The CDC guidance is all up on the website. Individual private venues still have the ability to add additional guidelines to the state guidelines and the CDC guidelines. But for our part, we're adopting the CDC and we're saying, let's open. This comes at a good time for New York because we had already said we were going to do our major reopening this Wednesday. So this Wednesday, most capacity restrictions are lifted in the tri-state area, New Jersey, Connecticut. Whenever possible, we work with New Jersey and Connecticut to make sure we're doing the same thing. We don't want people going from New York to New Jersey to New York. Well, we do, but not to get around COVID guidelines, not to shop COVID guidelines. Outdoor food and beverage curfew is lifted today. Indoor food and beverage lifted May 31st. Outdoor gathering increased to 500, indoor 250, indoor residential gathering to 50, 24-hour subway service has returned. Getting back to life means not just getting back to work, but getting back to life the way we enjoy it in New York, why people enjoy being here, what makes New York, New York. And part of that is sports. And congratulations to the Knicks and the Nets on making the playoffs. That is really good news. I am going to root for New York, just so you know. The rules on the playoffs. There will be a vaccinated section and an unvaccinated section. We've just done this for the Islanders. Currently, from the Islanders model that we used, which we're now applying to the Knicks and the Nets, it's 50% of the arena is for vaccinated people, 50% for unvaccinated people. Unvaccinated people have to do 6 feet social distancing and require a mask. But this is up to the individual venue, just to be clear. If I own the Knicks, can I tell you what I would do if I owned the Knicks? Everybody else tells you what they would do if they own the Knicks, right?
That's true.
Everybody is entitled to an opinion. If I owned the Knicks, the guidelines are 50% for vaccinated. I would go higher. I encourage operators and venues to go higher than 50% vaccinated. You can go to 100% vaccinated. That's in a private operator's control. And frankly, from the state's point of view, we want to encourage people to get vaccinated. Yes, there are health reasons, but we're opening up, and we're opening up with more opportunities to vaccinated people. So it's another reason to get vaccinated. And if the Knicks or the Nets say 60%, 75%, 80% for vaccinated people, why would they say that? Because they get more attendance. You get more people in the arena in a vaccinated section than the unvaccinated, because the unvaccinated, you have to have the 6 foot social distancing. From the team's point of view, the teams want fans in the arena. right? Ty Cobb, the fans make the game. They want the cheers. They want the energy. The players themselves want it. So the more people in the arena, the better. And that is within their control. New York City Marathon. It's another great New York City institution. We have Karen Hempel with us. The marathon is back. And that is a great, great New York event that excites people from all across the globe. Does a lot of great work for the city and the state of New York. Many people come. It'll be at 60% capacity, 33,000 runners. They'll have health and safety guidelines. Registration opens on June 8th. And again, the race isn't until November 7th, but it's the 50th running. And that can be adjusted between now and November because November is a long way away. But for now, for the opening registration, it's 33,000 runners. County fairs, a big part of this state, big part of upstate New York. They are all allowed to open up to the capacity of 6 feet social distancing. The local Department of Health will issue a permit. New York State Department of Health approves events over 5,000. Private operator can again set their own rules, or a government-owned venue can set additional rules. And Tribeca Film Festival is going to reopen. Talk about everything comes around. Tribeca was formed post 9/11. Post 9/11, I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember. There were so many naysayers about New York post 9/11. It's over for New York. We're a terrorist target. Everybody's going to flee New York. Nobody wants to stay here because now we're an ongoing target. Going downtown, forget it. You couldn't get people to go downtown. What was the logic? I have no idea. What did you think? There was going to be another terrorist attack and it was going to happen to be downtown again? But the esprit de corps of New York, the confidence in New York was gone. Tribeca was formed to bring back the New York spirit, to bring back what New Yorkers loved about New York. And it did it brilliantly. That was the founding of Tribeca, to help New York rejuvenate post 9/11. And Tribeca is now helping New York rejuvenate post-COVID. This is about rekindling the spirit of New York. Yeah, you can open buses, you can open subways, you can open businesses, but we need to get the exuberance back, the excitement back, the love of New York. I love New York. I love New York. Why are you in New York? Because I love New York. It's that emotion, it's that spirit. And that's what we're getting back, that, yeah, we're New York tough. Yeah, we went through a tough time. Yes, COVID was tough, but we're tougher. We're better. That's the New York spirit. That's the New York mojo. Tribeca will open on June 9th at a new park that we're opening on Manhattan West Side, Pier 76, which is magnificent. It's a new public space. It goes right out into the Hudson, magnificent views. And Tribeca, on their opening on June 9th, will host a screening on Pier 76 for Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights. And the closing night of Tribeca is June 19th. It's going to be right here with a red carpet closing night performance at the magnificent Radio City Music Hall. 100% vaccinated, mask-free audience. This beautiful hall will be filled once again with what I am sure is going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal evening and attraction. Having Radio City back at 100%, without masks, with people enjoying New York and the New York arts, is going to be not only symbolic and metaphoric, but I think is going to go a long way towards bringing back this state overall. And we do want to say directly, 100% at Radio City Music Hall. So if I'm not vaccinated, I can't go. That's right. That's right. The whole point of the CDC's change, the whole point of our change, is to say to people, there are benefits to being vaccinated. Number one, if you get COVID, which there's a fractional chance that you get it if you're vaccinated, you won't get as sick. Number two, you can't transmit it to anyone. And number three, yes, New York is opening, but you're going to have more opportunities if you are vaccinated. And yes, if you're vaccinated and you go to a ball game, you sit in a vaccinated section and you sit next to your buddies and your friends. If you're unvaccinated, you have to sit 6 feet apart. If you're vaccinated, yes, you come to Radio City Music Hall. And if you're unvaccinated, that's your choice. But you can't go into the Radio City Music Hall with vaccinated people. For Radio City Music Hall to do this is so powerful because you have to remember, history repeats itself. Radio City Music Hall is not just an iconic venue. It was built by John Rockefeller when, in the middle of the Depression. Why? Because we were in the middle of the Depression. Why would you build this amazing futuristic music hall in the middle of the Depression? Because we were in the middle of the Depression. And Rockefeller's vision was, let's build something that inspires and shows hope. Why did Governor Smith build the Empire State Building in the middle of the Great Depression? That's when you're going to build the tallest building? Of course that's when I'm going to build the tallest building. Because we are in the middle of the Depression. And we want that building to rise because we want those spirits to rise. Yes, says Rockefeller, I'm going to build an awesome music hall. Better than anything you've ever seen before. Because that's the statement that I want to make. The largest auditorium in the world, the biggest stage built for the ages, with technology never deployed before. They did that in that moment to make that statement because they were faced with a challenge, but they wanted to stand up to that challenge. And that's the message we have to remember today. People ask me all day long, what is New York going to be like post-COVID? What do you think? We determine what New York is going to be like. There's no pre-written destiny here. You tell me what we do, I will tell you what we are post-COVID. It will be what we make it to be. And what Radio City Music Hall says is, imagine what you want it to be. And then build that. 2 steps. Imagine a better New York. And then make it happen. And we will imagine a better New York. Because New York was not perfect pre-COVID. We want to go back to the day before COVID. No, we don't. I don't. I want to go back to a New York that never was. Let's build a New York that is bigger and bolder and safer and sweeter and cleaner and safer and more just than ever before. This is the moment to do it because the table has been reset. Every governor, every mayor, every country on the globe needs to recover from COVID and needs to transform themselves for a post-COVID world. Who wins that competition? Who's ever smarter, faster, and more entrepreneurial? Whoever has a better imagination and more vision, that's who wins. And you know what that is? That is the definition of what makes New York, New York. And what makes New Yorkers, New Yorkers. And why we built the Empire State Building. And why we built Radio City Music Hall. And why we started the Tribeca Film Festival. Because you can knock us down, but we're going to get up. And we're going to get up smarter and stronger and more united than ever before. That is us. That's who we are. It's in our DNA. It's what we mean by New York tough. Otherwise, you don't make it in this place. We have and we will, and we'll do it together.